I had to redo this material, this information, because the first one was not quite perfect. They may have had some misinformation. Thus, I decided to redo it. So, 24 signs that you could be an original Annunaki descendant on the earth today. First, Annunaki believe that you can truly create something from nothing. The Anunnaki are rumored to be many things, means that they are confederation. I'll try to find. Here could be some of them. But they are legion. They also can incorporate a human vest, a human body. They are not just Dracos or Sirens. They can be anything. They can even appear like a human from Nordics. They can appear like that, or they take a form or walk in. They can appear as anything they wish. Those there are legions, a group of confederation of aliens. Supposedly they were charged with a great. They were charged. They were given a great job, responsibility for them, a task for them to do. This was the creation controlling the physical. This was to create and control the physical world, literally, not symbolically. They were given the tools to create existence from the energies of the great void of nothingness, and had the power to manipulate it. Not necessarily the cosmos has enough prime materials to construct what is needed to be constructed or to experience if it matters. And I heard that through Andrew Bassi, his work, that the Anunnaki were somewhat lured and attracted to Earth by the 15 multi-dimensional beings. Just who are they? I don't know, because it's all a mess, and everything is kept under wraps, and nobody knows exactly what's going on. Okay, so they say that these beings, 15 multi-dimensional beings, might be a group. Again, is a group. Some speculate that it could be a kind of beings that looks like worm, and they burrow under the earth like a worm. They are giant beings. They take up that form, and they lure the Anunnakis, because the Anunnakis had they have technical and metaphysical power to create matrices, world made of modernization, cosmopolis, cities of great splendors. Okay, so they were called in to take up this project, to do this project for these 15 multi-dimensional beings. Okay, so they were given the tools to create existence from the energies of the great void of nothingness, and had the power to manipulate. Now, the great void, there's many great voids. So which one they're talking about? There's many, not just one. So which one they're talking about? I guess that the cosmos offer pretty much quarks and atoms to do as they please. given their expertise and given their altruism, right? So this would have begun this great work sometime around 500,000 years ago, less or more than that, perhaps longer. The true time frames of such matters are not known to anyone anymore. Perhaps not even to the Annunak. This period may have been more like a dream to them. Two, Annunak are gifted in all of the powers to create matter from energy. Form was made first by creating matter itself with the basic building blocks of the universal energies. This means the Big Bang, boom kaboom, and then it just exploded without the help of no embodied beings. Okay, just instantaneously like that, by default. We didn't need a God to do this, just by itself, kaboom, and then it was made matters. The Annunaki accomplished this by working from materials they gathered from the abyss. I don't agree. From there they created the space. They manipulated the space. You mean they manipulated the space, not created. Because create and manipulate is two different things. You can create the prime matter, the originality, or you can recreate and innovate it. Then it's different thing. Okay, there's two different things. So I believe that they innovated. They work with matrices mostly. So they created matrices, matrix. The reason they created space was so that substance could exist, and then matter itself, beginning with atoms and building from there. It's assumed that this work, although complex, happened at a very, very high rate of time, almost instantly. So they said, "Let there be light," to use a biblical metaphor. This is up to debate. This is not recorded in history. I don't believe that, because you can use binary, a computerized thing, computer generated stuff, and then you live in a kind of how to say, Narnia world, a make-believe world, based on binaries that look so real to you and might be real, but they manipulate something. Okay, they have manipulated. So you see what they want you to see, what the memory, the program memory wants you to see, the software wants you to see, and not what is there. Like you see a color, maybe white, but then you see pink, you see red, you see black, but it's white. Everything is from this a void that is all crisscrossing pattern that is colorless. Okay, it's colorless, totally transparent. And from there lies the spectrum, the rainbow spectrum of all the colors. And here you see just sets of limited spectrum of color. However, once you leave this body, or you go outside this body, the limitation of the body, you expand your consciousness, you can see much more spectrum of colors not seen here on earth. 3. Annunaki hate all strict time, schedule, especially being held to them. While creating paradise, the Annunaki kept begging for more time. They wanted more time so that they could make the world of matter perfect in every way, shape and form. They were attempting to do this before setting God's greatest creation, humanity, in it. Now, the God is here could be Anus, okay? He's the Godhead in the top God's head, the top Annunak king head. It's just like in a political arena. You have the president, you have the governor below, you have the senators, you have the much other, and then down to prefects and so on and so forth. The same is with this confederation. So when they say God here for the enslaved species, they want you to refer it as God. It's the same as called the president God. Understand? Or so. But doesn't mean that it's the true absolute God. There is no such thing, because everybody is God in itself. Because everybody comes from the cosmos, everybody comes from the stardust and atoms. Right? The God is the atoms here. I'm sorry for you who hold how to say illusion, bubble of illusions in your conventional theological arena. I'm sorry, but up to you. You want to live the dreams, up to you. Each one of you, you all have the right to. So, setting God graces creation humanity in it. They were creation the world of the earth as we know it now. Now, I'm gonna correct it. Before they came here, there were already finders keepers, the gatekeepers that were the lucierians. This one I didn't say in the my former video of this this nature. So when they first came here, there were already people from Orion, alright? People, not creatures, and Lyra. First Lyra, then later Orion. But they want to own it because they are totally patriarchal. They created bases in Sirius. And they want to be the keys on the block. They want to control everything. Wherever they invade, wherever they conquer, they want to control. So what happened? They kicked the lucierians, and they kicked it. The lucierians could as well be the former primordial earth that were the so-called Namilus beings that already were here when they first came. So since they want to be the force, they want to be seen as the force and the big gods, etc., that they did. They kick out the ones that they found here, inclusive Shiama from Orion. They kicked her and the matriarchy from here because they want to set up a patriarchal base here. When it was matriarchal, okay, matriarchal first. So they kick the girls out and they bring in the males, the beef, reptoid shape and many others, the drakes, bird. Kick all the girls without mercy because they are coward type. When I saw them, and I think it was February at the garden here, I felt sick since then. They look at me like I'm crazy or what, you know. And they had that kind of, they were not even the big boss, they were just the soldiers there. And they kind of look at me, they're so tall, like 3-4 meter tall. I'm a dog for them. I stay like in their ankles, like this, the ankles. Oh, they look at me like this. They are the size of a tree. And they was watching me like always, but for some they didn't make no harm. I don't think it was them also harming me. I don't think so. Might be paranoias, but it wasn't them. But they look at me like, what is she doing here at this time of the night, 1 a.m. So they were creating the world of the earth as we know it now. It can be argued that either they do not exist in a world where time is relevant or observable. Of course not. They live in the time continuum. It can also be argued that God may not have allowed the creation of paradise or the earth to continue. Now, this God between parentheses here could as well be Yahweh or Jehovah, right? There's a name for that. One guy from Brazil called it Albladeha. His true name is Albladeha. He's in Leo. He's Horus. Horus, the eagle man from ancient Egypt. And the God here, if not him, could be his father or his grandfather. That was the former God, because they passed down throne. They passed down from son to son in Orion. In the case Orion would be mothers, grandmothers to granddaughters, and so on and so forth. Sirius is a patriarchal kingdom. They are more like patriarchal, so they pass down from great-grandfather to great-grandchildren. So now on the throne to us, I'm not quite sure, but be one of the sons of Humankind. Okay, they are Luciferian group. But that time when they first came here, it was in Leo. I guess in Leo is still the older one, because society he has more responsibility. He got more more, not so responsibility, more authority. They have more authority. And his half brother felt somewhat neglected and outcast. He was the outcast, the serpent, the demon, etc. And this is Annunnaki's feudal problem. This God here may as well be in Leo, okay? Leo, his father Anu or En, may not have allowed the creation paradise of the earth to continue. He don't want, because he don't want mess. Jehovah, one organization. He's the God of Babylon as well, and he's the represent the tower, Beelzebub, the bovine, etc. So he was like, no, we don't want it, because it was decided that we should not allow it, this mess here in the place where we conquer. But his brother, the Lucifer, just go ahead and do it. Not be allowed the creation, but the job wants to finish and there was no more time to be had. This one's obsessing to the Annunaki in either case. Why they call here Annunaki when Lucifer is Annunaki and Leo is Annunaki, many others Annunaki, and many others, all their confederation who enters into this, because it's a title, okay, it's a confederation, it's a tribe, something like to do with a tribe. So whoever sign contract and make an agreement, join in the team. It's like a team. Annunak is not a species, it's not a family, rather it is a kind of a confederation, you know, like UN, is it UN? I don't know, might be. So it's like that, it's a confederation. So fourth, Annunaki have always been portrayed as they have stood against Lucifer in mythology. Most mythology agrees that Lucifer, or a name that refers to a luminous fire or illuminati, was the archangel that originally oversaw the Anunnaki work. After eons of delay, during which they shaped the earth and all of its forces, fields and landforms, but they were still demanding more time for the project. After they had not finished before the final timeline, God, between parentheses, had officially decreed Archangel Lucifer or Enkaya finally put his foot down. Many Annunaki never felt creation was allowed to be perfected, and more than several announced a grudge towards Lucifer. He held responsible by the Annunaki for his disruption of work, because certain people here that must do everything in a hurry, and within 1 week they finish the project and poor those slaves who have to construct for them. So same thing, they want everything in a hurry, they have no time to wait. 5. Annunaki don't like being referred to or compared to the other angels. Originally, the Annunaki had only 2 forms called the Angel and the Kisar. The Kisar created the earth and everything upon it, save for life. The Kisars believe in what was called the one law, and this one is the ancient Egypt, and they are also luciferians, the Kisar. So here we have the Kisar. When they take human form, it's like that. It's the ancient Moors. They are mostly in that part of north of Africa. It's also referred to as mother of Anu. Okay, is a Kisar, but they are not quite human. But whenever they want to take human form, they will take this phenotype here. Now, this one will be another form that they will likely prefer. Also, this one also Annunaks from ancient Egypt. Okay, so it's the same phenotype of the North Africans. And this one, the Anshu, is different. She could as well be a part of Lyrians and reptoids from Orion, and she's the mother. Ansha is a phenotype, is a group of beings. So is Kisar, okay, is a community, is a phenotype. So this one is Ansha, the mother of Enkaya, Lucifer, and she may as well, she is once Anu concubine. Of course, this one is a computer-generated work of art. It may or may not refer to the mother of Enkaya, but it states that it is. I'm not sure. The poor reptilians, yeah, they are so sad, it's just like they are used and they have to do what they have to do. I take pity on them no matter what. They always, when I videotape them in this haunted garden here, that time I don't go because I need to save up my energy as much as possible. I don't want to climb in and up flights of stairs, so I refrain from go there at the time being. Also because I'm not quite well. But the last time I saw him, there was the same thing, poor thing, the eye like this, so sad. I take pity on them. My heart, I don't have room in my heart to feel hatred. So, the Kisar believed that in what was called the lawful one, this was from ancient Egypt, and Amra, also perhaps he was Osiris. He also is known as Lucifer and Enkaya. He was pretty much in control of this group. They believed in one God, one truth, one purpose, and did not have patience for anything other. So they were more towards the precept of the concept of how to say, monotheism rather than pantheons of gods or polytheism. They are more towards monotheism, one God. So this is the lawful one truth, one purpose, do not have patience for anything other. There were the builders and the force that were set to work on the great project of the earth's creation. This would be a bone of contention later in the history of the Annunaki. The Khazars were also deeply loyal to the archangel Lucifer. Yeah, because they were part of Lucifer, they were Luciferian after all. Some had been under his leadership since the beginning of the Annunaki history. 6. Anunnaki understanding of gravitation and physics would be beyond gift. Yeah, that's true. It was late in the creation process that the Ansha came into play. The Ansha from Orion, no, they once here first. The Ansha made movement and travel up on the Khazar's creation possible. They worked often took them away from the other Elohim, leaving them somewhat separated and having time to develop different beliefs from their angelic brother. The Ansha came to believe in what was called the strict observancy. This was an idea that they came up with, but basically caused them to return to the belief that there were many gods or pantheons or polytheism. So there were many goddesses, according to them, goddesses, energies and influences on the universal power. So their mind was more ample, more open to all possibilities than a constricted and limited mentality that there were just one. Okay? So all the doctrines that we have today that consists with this belief may as well be governed by them, by the Khazars, by the Ansha. Okay, that is also come from Lyra and Orion. There's one thing which I was so confused yesterday that I didn't talk about it, because information come bit by bit, and sometimes if you don't have patience to wait for 1 to 3 days, we do not gather too much information one time on one day. So you have to wait for other days to gather more information. So goddesses, energies, and influences on the universal power, which is correct. They also came to believe that God may not have been the original creator of the universe. Correct, Ansha, and I'm with you. I am with you. The Ansha, the Orion people, the Orion queens, and some say that she's the mother. One of them were the mother of Enkaya, Lucifer. This belief was greatly at odds with the Khazar and the one law which come from Egypt. Okay. So 7. Annunaki are overly self-conscious, especially about their bodies. When it came time to make humanity or to manipulate humanity, the Anunnaki were responsible for the creation of the body itself. So I want to highlight one more time that the Ansha were here first, then the Khazars. Khazars came later. Okay? Khazars or Anshar came later, or Ansar came later, and the Ansha from Orion and Lyrians came first. And there were polytheism here before monotheism came. When it came to make humanity, to manipulate humanity to be precise, the Anunnaki were responsible for the creation of the body itself. They were very proud of the creation. Well, I wouldn't be if it were them. Their synthesis of material energy into DNA, the synthesis of material energy into DNA, the construction of the skeletal system. They synthesized, the synthesis of material energies into DNA, the construction of the skeletal system, mapping out the blood vessels and nerves, and placing the organs, which make a total mishmash of confusion of meridians and networks that with time and age may constrict may broke itself, and you're gonna have problem later on, given your lifestyle, how much you drink, what you eat, etc. Okay, and also with that came the chakras system to best manipulate the beings here. It was all by design. They even created new pathways within the brain that could be altered or mutated later as the human species grew within its early evolution. Means what? That they didn't want eyes to be full aware, have an ample mentality. What he did? They decrease and switch it off our 95 strand of DNA and left only 2, and they switch off 93. So we are operating only 2% of our whole capacity of awareness, right? And that's why we have all the carnage, all the nonsense that you still have today. And those Annunakis, most of them also just like men of those who behave this way, stupid, who doesn't have a sense of civility, doesn't have a sense of consciousness, and goes around on rampage and creating havoc, wars, controls over, not controls with, stupidity, submissiveness, compliance, etc. All this makes part of this network of control over. They even created the new pathways with the brain that could be altered or mutated later as the human species grew within its early evolution. When they were finished, even they found no fault. Of course, it's the beginning. It was still in trial, under trial. No fault with what resulted, and proudly presented their creation to the Creator God, who was Anu, his father. So he bring who? Adapa. He put a helmet on Adapa and brought him to see his father. How? Not with the body and all. Many says, oh, the prophet so and so went with the body and all. He went in a carriage, in a horse, went to heaven with the body and all. No, it was not the body. It was out of the body experiences. Many people are able to do it. So he took Adapa and took him to Nibiru to meet his grandfather, his non-human grandfather, Anu. Okay, that is the Anu. Okay, also a creator. He is a creature, not just a creator. He's a creature. Just like guys who are more like knowledgeable, but technical knowledgeable. Annunak are capable of love, but does not always serve them well. They mean they have a capacity to love, but they don't see it as something logical or something that will serve them, and something is smart. Okay, so they don't show affection, they don't show emotions, nothing. So rings a bell. Some people here on earth who behaves just pretty much the same, who is shocked if he hugs and kisses freely, display of hugs and kisses. Cold people, cold-hearted people. So they are more like logical, and we don't see what's the big deal about all this show of emotions that the prior humans here had. So originally, and this still the remnants, of course, originally the Annunak had no intentions of trying to inhabit, influence, and they did not even intend on having any control over the world we live in. I don't believe. They fell in love with their own perfect creation of the human being. This was fertile. The Annunak proudly presented their creation with love, only to have that love shattered when the Creator God, which was Annunaki, Anu, told them that they could never reveal themselves to their most accomplished creation. It means they say, don't tell them who we are and what they do. If not, the cat will be out of the bag, and they will start, no more they will worship us, no more they will have respect toward us, and then our plan will be finished tomorrow. Don't tell. But so, I mean, love is not give admiration and love. It's not conquered through fear, through blind allegiance and control over. No, love is given by love and respect is something that you should deserve it, not earn it blindly, and it comes in a form of appreciation for you to be a nice being, unconditional one, and a loving being. Then people will show you affection, gratefulness, etc. towards all of you. Okay, because love is not about this way. Love is not something that you can bargain through fears. You cannot end or respect and love people forever through this method, because one day your tricks and your plans will be fire and it'll hit you on the ass pretty hard. Am I right? So you cannot do this. Don't try this at home. So they tell not to tell anybody about their essential and their secrets and who they are. Okay? That humanity wants to remain ignorant of the first creation of the universe. So our memories, previous memories, once erased, we were not to remember who we were, who was our ancestors, how everything was created, what's the cosmos, the universe, etc. Everything was to be erased from our memory, from our previous, original, inherent memories. The Annunaki, the original abyss, and many other things. So we're not supposed to do about the Annunaki, the original abyss, and many other things. This was the day that many Annunaki came to believe. What many of them had long suspected, that the Creator God may not be the true Creator. Then Inkaya saw him as the not true Creator. How come my father think this way? Why my father think this way? Why he's so arrogant? So I'm gonna rebel now. I mean, if he don't own up, then he will not fear. So why he's behaved this way and keeping secret from this species? Now, Annunaki are opinionated, but do not debate what they think or know is true. Yeah, because I mean they have a reason for that, a very sinister, if you will, reason for not to disclose what they know. And in this case, silent sea is not gold, not at all. Silent sea is just a compliant sea, it's just a convenient sea for some people or creatures to do as they please, because it's through compliancy, it's through secrecy that they best control the masses. Is it not true? So the resentment that many Annunaki always felt towards the Creator, and the suspicious that he or it was actually a demiurge. And that is Anu. Words of this suspicious slowly leaked itself. These rumors spread through the angelic hierarchies, and the other Elohim began to bubble over with controversy. And then we start to become controversial. They start to talk about themselves, debate about themselves, about the veracity and the validity of Anu. Then one of the Elohim named Arimal had an apocalyptic vision of the earth. This was not quite a vision, a prevision. However, it was already an agenda. They was already planning it to take place. It foretold the fall of humanity from God's grace, which is Anu's grace, and a great war in the heavens. Okay, they will have a war. So they decide that they have a war because of this creation, because of this Homo sapiens version 2. All hell and heaven break loose, literally speaking. So when the Annunaki heard of Arimal's vision, or what he had said that would happen, because he may as well be an advisors of Anu, of the throne, they were concerned, but still felt that taking sides over the creation was not worthy of debate. So they say maybe we should not take sides of these beings that they have manipulated, not created but manipulated, Januma. So they are not worth to go fighting over. For most Annunaki already knew where they stood and what their opinions had already been. Then Annunaki took the side of humanity and mythology. The archangelic powers and the Elohim called open all of their brother for what was called the Great Debate. So they make a council to debate about this. The archangelic powers had come to quarrel over whether Anu was the source of all power, or whether the archangels derived their power from their source or from something else, from the cosmos. This was Anu enliled the original creator or not. When the Annunaki refused to join the great debate, they kept true to their belief in pure neutrality, and this one is Enlil or Enkaya and his team. They kept true to their belief in the neutrality in Annunaki. Anu is Annunaki, Enlil is Annunaki. So keeping their grieving arguments to themselves, keep true to their belief in pure neutrality, and those who were left keeping their grieving arguments to themselves. Both the Ansha and the Kishar were in agreement with each other on this. In the end, over half of the Annunak left heaven to take up sides with humanity, which is now known as our mentors, our mentors, our oversoul, etc. 11. Anunnakis are very active, terrestrial, have a lot of precious gems and metals. The fall of humanity was either true or was the result of the angels acting on Arimal's vision. Either way, the Anunnaki had seen this before. This other group have seen before. They remembered the fall of the first earth during the war between the Atlanteans and Lemurian root races. Before that, the Atlanteans was composed of Lyrians, mostly Lyrians, and the Lemurians was other races that reminded me of the Jetsons. I always refer them of the Jetsons because they were the air civilization. Their civilization was totally on air, and Atlantis was the crystal civilization, the crystal and psychic powers, and a hill civilization. And that too was destroyed when the war came in, when the beings come in to do away with the project of the other aliens. They came in and they decided to destroy through nuclear weapons and also through biological weapons. They came to the human species present precious metals and jewels before Adam and Eve. Now Adam and Eve here is something modern. They were not the primordial here. The others were, right? Others were. This Adam and Eve were specifically for Africa and Middle East. Okay, Adama, Adapa, and Chichi was specifically exclusively for Africa and the Middle East. Something modern. They are first hybrids and they are first Annunaks, luciferians hybrids. Or the originals. Or see, Adam, Adapa, and Adamu, Adapa and Chichi, or the original tribes of humankind, because there were the primordials here already. When they decide, oh, take one of these primordial, like mix up with the aliens or the Annunak, these from heavens came, so they make hybrids from this, but the experiment was in Africa first. Okay, that's why they say all originate in Africa. No, these beings present experimentations in project, started in Africa, but millions and millions and millions and millions of years prior to that, there were already people here. And the Namelus, one of them, the ones from Lyran, the one from Orion was already here. Okay, and the Atlantis, etc. The Lemurian. Okay, so this may have been fragments left over from the great weapon that caused the fall of Atlantis. See? So what they did, throw a bomb. Oh, first was the biological weapon. Men went crazy. Men start to eat each other. Those the tale that the giants eat each other. Why? Because they were under psychic attack by these beings, these sorcerers from overseas, of a world. So what they did, they throw the virus. Men went berserk, men went amok, and men start to kill each other. Okay, because this is how they use it's natural selection, they call it. And the other biological weapons was the virus that biologically killed, eating up their brains. And they become crazy, and many of them went into coma or narcolepsy. So when the second fall of Atlantis, in the last 7 or 5 time, what happened? They throw the nuclear bomb, kaboom! These times, time around the tsunamis and many others, natural apocalyptic, not natural, artificial apocalyptic disaster took place, and now the remnants Atlanteans perished, but some escaped through the bottom of the earth, through the network of the earth, to form some part of Shambhala and Agartha. Okay, those are the primordial beings that were already in Atlantis. But no, they say who? No, they were the fallen angels, the Nephilims, they would say, because they want to uphold their adulterated belief system in religions. So cause the fall of Atlantis and the destruction of the apostle. God, thanks God, and I don't know who, they already prepared me back on the 80s. They prepared me on the 80s to come now in the future to tell this. Who, I don't know, but might be some my mentors, who knows. And they prepared me with all those knowledge and all those information. Say now in the present, tell now about this virus that may return, I don't know. It eats up your brain naturally wise, and you go crazy. And there were some in Europe. Do you remember the sleepy virus that makes people sleep? That one is remnants of that virus, but many people, even though they send it dead, they still survive it. Bravo, human. Be strong, be strong. Blessed you forevermore, my ancestors. So this may have been fragment left over from the great weapon that caused the fall of Atlantis and the destruction of the first earth. 12. Annunaki made one very big mistake in judging humanity. Humankind was as divided and corrupt in the propaganda of the fall as in one. They were divided and also they were confused, poor thing. Who are to blame them? And who are the Anunnaks to judge them when they took part and they are responsible for all this mess and chaos? The curse that came soon after would be for humans to use the tools that the Annunak had created, the Anshar and the Anshar. Humanity sought to use these tools for their own use. This sparked the rebellion within the Annunak, who argued that the tools could be used as a means of destruction. Anu and Leo, Jehovah, rather than creation, they sought to control and master creation. With this, the rebellious Annunaki, which was a luciferian group now, controlled by Amura, Osiris, and Kaya, became known as the Malefactors, or the fallen angels. Although different intentions and purposes prevailed, the fallen angels and the remain true Annunak continued to work to ensure the survival of the human species. The malefactors could be the hybrids mixed with humans, the hybrids took side with Lucifer. So why in Leo and Anu was angry? Because they was concerned also that this could reverberate to something worse, like a war, which really happened, right? Because you cannot give matches and lighter if a bottle of gasoline to 5 or 7-year-old conscience to use. If you give this to children, what they could do? They could set the house on fire, right or not? So this was a thing that they was concerned that they didn't want to happen. Okay? And they found that Lucifer was quite infantile indeed. So 13, Annunaki are naturally creative and love creation useful new tools. Okay? That's correct. It became clear to the Annunak that they needed help of humans if they were to survive as well. They needed us much more than humanity needed them. After the fall of humankind, the malefactors or the hybrids were determined to help humans survive. They offered to create tools and shelter for Adam and Eve. The chosen ones. All the chosen ones. But they were determined to create things for themselves. By now, the various archangelic powers had finished the great debate, and no resolution was come to or agreement. The archangel Lucifer had drawn the line in the sand, having decided that since the angels themselves were going to argue forever, he would take up sides with the Annunak to defend the human species. Annunak here, you mean the Luciferian side, dude, and not the others Annunak that were in Anu and his father and grandfather. So he takes side with who? Alalu. Alalu also take part with them. Alalu and his family. Okay, so Marduk, Jesus, Lucifer and Kaya, and many others, and Alalu all took part with these hybrid humans to cause all this havoc here before. The human species, many of the other angelic power left as allies with Lucifer, while maybe Jehovah and Leo and his father and grandfather, one thing since they just want to harvest the gold and that's it. They don't want to meddle with the species like this other infantile brain Lucifer did. And now he's empowered this year. And look at this last year he has been empowered. Look at the mess that we are in today. Wars for that species that he controls. All this is the species that he controls, you know. All those wars that goes on about the species that he controls. Do you know that in the metaphysical terms? No, you don't. Oh, this is pure politics, and this part's to blame is the big Satan. This and that's the big Satan, you know, without see through the rabbit hole and dive deep into it to gather more information on why they are doing all those wars. Okay? It's all for powers, to safeguard their own species. So it would take up side with the Annunaki to defend the human species. Men of the defend human species. What? To defend your own side, your own lineage, right? Men of the other angelic powers left as allies with Lucifer, those the fallen angels. They leave Nibiru in Saturn to join with Lucifer, come to Earth to create chaos here. And fight with his family. But now, right now, I have a feeling that he have make up with his family. Now they are all in it together. I'm not sure, but maybe there's a possibility that that's the case right now. That they are in good terms right now. 14. Annunaki are natural inventors and teachers in many disciplines. The teaching of the Annunaki would be one of the many things that left their mark on humanity. While constructing a house of stones, Adam had difficulty had difficulty in moving on large rock. And so one of the malefactors, or deceased being that very tall, the giant one, who were hybrids, created the lever to help him. No wonder in the 80s, when I first got to know about the pyramids, in the 80s, I was still a teen, and I was like, hey, something happened here. This project had supernatural or metaphysics help. But of course I didn't use the terms metaphysics back then, but I used supernatural, spiritual. So I knew that there was something behind it, because they couldn't possibly find the materials to create those pyramids all over the place that you also have in South Americas, Central Americas, East Europe, etc., as well as in Africa. So I was like, hey, I guess that they use some help. And I was right. You see now, in the future, I was right. So in teaching mankind how to create and use the tools, new orders with the Annunaki evolved after the fall and long after the war that was about to begin in between heaven and earth. That's meaning who this being, this brother who caused problem with his own family, even Leo, Jehovah, and his father, mother, etc. And the others, renegade, they call it renegade, okay? And there's another set of renegades when the human is split from this luciferian. The human said, enough is enough, I don't take part anymore with you. Then they renegade. So it was when they took it very strongly and they punished the humans again. So that's why his family want to undo, to destroy this project. They want to destroy because they didn't agree with it, and they have a right. Maybe there will come a great flood during this period of the flood, after the fall and long after the war that was about to begin between heaven and earth. There will come a great flood. During this period of the flood, it would be the Annunaki who had originally taught men how to domesticate animals and kill them and use them for food, for sacrifices, etc. And we didn't need all this before. This is cruelty towards animal, to feed their miserable body. You kill animals the most miserable, humiliated form possible. And that is something that is so, is not, it's profane, it's not divine at all. Even within religions, you do this to your animals. So pitiful, you know. And some only safeguard the bovine, the cows and the bulls. Why? Because they have certain pact, association with Enlil, because it symbolizes the bull. Okay? But the other equine is the horses, the caprines with the sheep and the goats, nobody care. The avians, which the chickens, nobody care, and the birds in general. Some even eat canine, some even eat cat. What's this? What kind of monster you are? You are the hybrids. For intelligence sake, you are the hybrids from with these luciferians, right? So what for? They teach all this. We don't need all this. I could live my life without know about domesticated animal for eat. I domesticate them to kiss them, to massage them, to wash them, and even make a beautiful house for them with aircon and everything. The cow, the horses, the chicken, all the birds, the cat, the dogs. I don't discriminate. Everybody's my children. Okay, I will do that. That's the true human. That one's the true humans. And especially those who are vegans. Okay. So what for? They bring all this here just to perpetuate, to perpetuate their metrics. And after the fall, they would be grateful during the how to domesticate animals to eat and touch and make sacrifice to agriculture, mathematics, writing, engineering, metallurgy, biology, what else? Geometry. I don't need all this. Calendars, astrology, science, and many other arts. But this would not be for an epoch, and humanity would be blissfully unaware that these ideas were genetically encoded within the bloodline DNA. Because now they are hybrids, thanks to the Annunaki and the Malefactors, the hybrids. So what for? I could live my life without know all this. 15 Annunaki in war are likely to be conscientious objectors. The heavenly powers cursed the angels that sided with Lucifer, calling them the fallen angel or the Nephilim. When the armies of Michael, which you call Michael, began to fall upon the fallen angel, Lucifer organized the legions so the fallen angels and the allies could defend themselves. They used their knowledge to forge weaponry and prepare what was called the Iron Legion. So you see in some Abrahamic religion and Catholic religion, you can see the image of Michael with a spade, piercing the poor dragons. Because I don't want to take side with nobody here, you know. I don't take side on the dark or the light, but I try to criticize the one who's most wrong. So you can see that wait, I'm gonna find here is the images of the dragons, the serpent which symbolizes Lucifer and his legions, and Michael who works for Enlil, Jehovah, Yahweh, and Anu. Okay. So I don't want to take part in nothing. If possible, I don't want to take sides. You see, if you think that I'm in a side or not, you are wrong. I want to be the arbitrary side. But he have not. You see, is a man, but it was not quite a man. Why is a man? Then what? He was what? Trampling a human? A hybrid human, is it? And he was a dragon. Oh yeah, hybrid. It was a hybrid. Yeah, hybrid. He was trampled upon of the hybrid. Peace him. I don't like to see this. I don't like to see. I like peace. Possibly I don't like dramas. I don't like all these nonsense. I don't like. I want peace and love. So the first, many Annunaki joined with the Iron Legion, building what the fallen and human fallen angels needed to survive, prepare for the war against the demiurge and the forces of heaven. But over half the Annunaki refused to join the war itself. Half of the Annunaki. Now I ask the question: which Annunaki? The one that was on the side of Enlil and his parents, or the one on the side of Alalu and Kaya and Jesus? Who? So the Iron Legion anointed themselves in the holy enemy war rituals. They had become unified in the belief that the Creator God, as Anu, had not been the Creator and was a false God. The demiurge must now fall, was the only command ever given by Lucifer. He harbored a lot of anger to this family. That's why he did what he did. 16. Annunaki are responsible for creating most weapons of modern war, including nuclear and biological bio war. The other half of the Annunaki began working on new inventions that would give humanity an even bigger advantage, inclusive demonic relics that could be used to protect humans. It was not without agreement that the Annunaki and the Malefactors began sharing the secrets of transmutation, transmigration, and the all-essential art of alchemical transformations. The power to disappear, the power to teleport, the power to use mimicry to transform themselves in another thing. It's not recorded historically, but many suspect that the Annunaki also made the realization that during the creation of matter in the earth, they had developed an unusually powerful, untested weapon. It was this power of harnessing the nuclear atomic energies that would provide the ultimate weapon in the earthly third dimension. It was never decided amongst the Annunaki if they should have shared some secrets of weaponry construction with the humankind. Which Annunaki? Now you mix up everything. Annunaki, you say is would be a way and Anu, and suddenly you say Annunaki is the fallen angels and the luciferian groups. So which is which? You are confused. 17. Annunaki are unsure how to react to many humans' emotions. Something were beyond the human scope of understanding, at least at this point in the evolution. The fact, the more complex tools they gave humans, while marvels, could not actually be used by mortals, as they did not have the fate that the hybrids had. This was the case with the idea for a nuclear weapon. Modern man now knows that this fate is called the observer effect in quantum mechanics. Many Annunaki tried to demonstrate and work the tools for them. But many humans became resentful and frightened and began to turn from them to the to do things on their own because they don't want to take part in this. They found it very strange and even scary, and they didn't want to take part in this, so they formed their own group. They don't want to take part with the hybrids. The humans that were on the side of the Iron Legion, or the early Egyptians, now turn their attentions against all of the angelic powers. The Annunaki, and even both sides of the Great War. Humans declared they would fight only for the side of the humans. Great, bravo, I am with you. Yeah, don't do that. Don't take sides with the Annunaki, because they are the reason for all the trouble here, in a way or another. And this war that we have in a main part of the East. Why is this? This is since the time of Amra and his legion, the lawful one. Since that time there were already war, war around the whole Middle East, war around in Africa. There is always pestilence in this time, in a many thousand years ago. Okay, so it's nothing new. So please don't blame other people for your own responsibility. Try to find out the true root for this war that seems never cease. Okay, so that's it now for party 1 for this segment.